Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Jerry Bell and I am the media director for my church, Hills Church, and I decided to make a channel for YouTube to show you. I want to take people on a journey with me. Just a little background here. My church is in Brisbane in Queensland. We're not a mega church. We're definitely not the biggest church in our area. Probably averaging between 300 to 350 people a week. So we're not a small church either, but we're about mid-size, I guess you could say. And recently and I'll show you on our website. Recently, we expanded our building. This is a picture of it here. A little bit before it was finished. As you can see, the car park is dirt. Part of it is anyway. But we recently expanded our building and added this extra part onto the building. Our actual main auditorium is behind there. That building's been around since 1991. So it's been around for a while. And so we built this because our church has been rapidly growing, which has been fantastic. And I'll give you a sort of a look of what it looks like inside. There you go. That kind of gives you an idea about what it looks like inside. It's actually quite wide and not very deep. That was the fashion back in the early 90s. And we've got a small stage here, and I'm not on drums at the moment there, but I can't tell actually. It's a bit hard to tell. So I'm actually a drummer as well. So not only do I head up the media team, but I'm also part of the worship team as well. Anyway, we are about to renovate this room. So finally, we finished part of stage one of our building project, which was that building that I just showed you. And it was actually still in stage one here. Part of this stage is also to renovate the inside of this auditorium, give it an update. The sound system is quite old. The speakers have been in there since 1991 as well. Actually, I think they're Bose AO2s for anyone that actually knows anything about speakers. You know, they've served us pretty well. They've been in there for so long, but they served us pretty well. And but unfortunately, it's not cutting. It's not doing what we need it to do, and the system is basically hitting a limit, especially when we do special services, but generally in what it sounds like on Sunday, we really can't fill out the sound. And it actually, when you can't mix properly for a room, the sound actually can be offensive to some people, and they think it's too loud. But it's not that it's too loud, it's just not working well enough. And so we've got a few issues you can't really see here, but the way they designed the stage back then, we've got these large walls that sort of sit over the angles above the stage. This causes a lot of issues. That's why the drums, as you can see here, are not actually behind a cage, because the cage actually made it worse, because the cage would then force all the sound to go up, hit that wall and echo down, and actually it would actually cause a bit of a delay on the drums. And so we actually don't have that, which means that, you know, we as drummers, while we are restricted in terms of volume. We're not like fully laid quiet, but you know, it could be better. So anyway, the plan is to do some renovation. So this is basically just an intro to my channel, the reasons behind what I'm doing with my channel, give you a bit of a background about what the reasons I'm making this, what I do and stuff like that. So we're going to do some renovations, and we're in the middle of, we are in March 2023. So if you're watching this way into the future, it's probably already happened. We're in the middle of discussions and planning on how we're going to upgrade. We're going to redevelop the actual room, new carpet. The stage is going to be redesigned, reshaped. We're going to lose those walls above the angles above the stage, and this lighting bar, that's pretty much our lighting bar. We've got a couple of lights shooting up the back wall at the moment. That's all we got. We've got nothing, no key lights that are coming down over people. We're running a very old projector that is on its last legs, and a couple TVs. You can actually see a TV here. It's actually just up here, right here. That's one pointing this way, and there's one on the other side as well. So, we sort of have just been hacking together these improvements, and they work for the most part, but we can do better, and what we're going to do. So at the moment we're in the middle of planning. The sound guys are all planning their big sound stuff. We're looking at how do we improve our screen as well. But I am while the screen is actually part of what I am doing, a lot of what I do is geared towards what we do online. And that includes not only the website, which I also look after as well, and but also our online live stream. So the live stream is something we'd been recording our services with just like a single camera or two cameras every Sunday, but mainly we recorded the sermons, and then we'd post them online. And, that was fun for a while. But then, of course, like everybody, and like the world over, we got a pandemic a couple of years back, and a lot of churches went online. And we did the same. So we got an extra camera, and we actually moved the camera operators, not camera operators, the vision switching, and we actually added in a second sound sound desk in a back room, which is, this angle that we're looking at of the room right now is actually directly behind where this camera person is taking the photo. So it's in the back corner, but it's in its own room. So we have that all separated from the main service, and that actually is part of our renovation too. It was just an old boardroom, and we've sort of converted it into sort of the broadcast suite, I guess you could say. And so it's going to be. It's not soundproofed enough. It's not actually soundproofed really at all. So, we hear a lot of noise through the walls from out in the main auditorium, which makes it harder for the sound guys to mix us properly, because you can hear bass coming through there. So we're going to soundproof it a little bit better and just lay it out a little bit nicer as well. So anyway, we had 3 cameras. We had a vision switcher. We were shooting out over OBS from an old Mac Mini, 2014, so 9-year-old Mac Mini. We were actually limited to 720p. So if I actually go back to, say, one of these older services here, you'll see looks pretty good here. But then when we actually get to the service, you'll see it's actually quite chunky. We'll get through the countdown. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Not great. Our lighting is not fantastic. We're kind of limited with our current lighting situation. There's a few dark spots and stuff like that. We're working on it. This is back in February, so you've probably seen people come in because everyone comes to church late. But we had some cameras. So just a quick overview of the cameras. All Blackmagic, 2 Blackmagic Studio 4Ks, and Blackmagic. It's like a mini one. It's a little one they don't make it anymore. It's a small camera that you put a lens on. Doesn't have a screen on it. We've been testing stuff back then. That was the first time I'd used that. Let's find a different one. That's 12th of February. There was a time before. That might have been the first Sunday that we were using the new computer. Yeah, here we go. So a little bit, look at that. The quality, the resolution is just really poor. Like I said, 720p. Bitrate was really low. The Mac Mini we had, like I said, 2014, could not cope with a very high bitrate. So it would drop frames if I pushed it above 3,000. That's my wife. I'm actually in the background here on the drums. She's a great singer, by the way. Just like to point that out to you. Maybe we can hear some. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this or not. Yeah, anyway. So this is kind of the backstory. We had this. Thankfully, with all the upgrades, I was able to push forward, push a little bit earlier to get a new computer. So we've recently upgraded. This would have been the last week we had this old one, to a Mac Mini again, but we've gone for the new M2 that just came out. And so it's an M2 running with 16 gig of RAM. And it's amazing. Like that thing, I can push the levels and the quality so much higher. No drop frames, or if we get drop frames, it's like 1 or 2. It's nothing major. Not dozens and dozens like we've had before with this thing. And not as blocky. We can finally go to 1080p. So we're running 1080p, 25 frames a second. And we're running at 6 megabits for our rate. So that's that one. As you can see, not great. So we got 3 cameras. We got those 2. 2 are locked off. We have a wide shot that's locked off, and then we have this 45-degree angle that's locked off. It's not the worst angle in the world, but doesn't really do much. And then the close-up angle is actually on a it's still a Blackmagic camera, but it's on a pan and tilt head that we have run a cable out the back, and I can control that. So if we skip forward, you'll see that I've been able to move that to another person. But that's basically all we could do. We don't have, at the moment, well, actually it's not true, but at the time we didn't have any camera operators or anything like that. So everything was either locked off or robotically moved in a way. So the upgrades, yes. So computer, we've upgraded. I'm not using OBS to stream through. I'm now using Pro Presenter to stream through, and I'm gonna do a video on that setup and how we're running that shortly. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what we're doing. And so the plan is we've actually now added an extra 2 cameras so far. 2 stage cameras, one that points to the drum. So let's stop looking at that mess, and let's find so there's still compression. Facebook does compress. I mean, not Facebook. YouTube does compression. All right. We are going through Caster.io. I would actually love to see what this would look like directly to YouTube, because I always get this feeling that Caster puts even more compression on it. I don't know. We have to try that one week, but because we have people on Facebook, it's kind of hard to know. But as you can see, it's like night and day when it comes to the quality as well. And as you saw a second ago, we've got a camera on the drums. We've moved that 45-degree camera angle, which is too yellow, by the way, to the right-hand side of the stage to give a this cross profile look. That camera also has a pan and tilt head on it that we can control. And because they're Blackmagic cameras, we've got lenses that we can focus, adjust, and 2 of these lenses, this close-up one and that side one, are both servo zoom lenses, and we can actually control the zoom from the switcher, which is very handy to do. So we've been able to move that around. But there's that shot there. Let's see if I can find the other shot. We do have one more camera that I've added on there. Let's just have a listen, by the way. So this worship leader here is Ashley, who's married to the drummer. She's amazing. She's definitely a pro singer. She actually does it for a living. So she's got a great voice. Knows her stuff. So let's jump forward. There we go. So we've got one on the keyboard as well. And those cameras are 2 little cameras that I've picked up and they're called Zcam E1s. Let's just show you what they look like. What does a Zcam E1 look like? A Zcam E1 looks like this here. This little guy. It's about the size of an action camera, but it's got a micro four third lens on it, a lens mount on it, so you can put on pretty much any lens you want. They don't make them anymore. This was a Kickstarter from Zcam that came out many years ago, and they actually don't make this one anymore. They've gone on to much higher range cameras, mostly around $10,000. So anyway, this was a Kickstarter. It got funded. It came out. It's not a bad camera. It's not a fantastic camera. If you know anything about Micro Four Thirds, you'll know that one of the big players in the Micro Four Thirds is the Panasonic GH5, GH6, GH4. I guess in a way before the 5 came out. I actually used GH5s for my own business, and I got 2 of them. And but this Zcam actually had the same sensor as the GH4, so I know that that's a good sensor. Yes, it's not as good as what we've got now with the GH6 and GH5, but for cameras that you can put on a stage and stick a lens on it, a nice lens, get some nice shallow depth of field. It's not a PTZ lens. It's not a little 1-inch sensor or anything like that. It's much bigger than that. And it basically lets you have nice depth of field. That's pretty much it. The great thing is, so the thing is, you can't buy them. I'm like, okay, I can't buy them. I saw it in a video. For those of you who've ever who looked at church media tech and stuff like that, you probably have heard of Ryan Russell. If not, check out his YouTube channel. He's inspired me a lot. I'll give a shout out to him. Subscribe to his channel. He's a legend. Good fella. And he just randomly, he was showing, yeah, we got one of these cameras here on the keyboard. I'm like, what is that? And it was really dark, but I took a screenshot of it and I boosted the levels and stuff. I'm like, Z camera, what is that? So I did some research, messaged him on YouTube, and he's like, yeah, we've got these things. You know, they're a little bit fiddly to get set up, but they're really handy and nice and small and compact. Fantastic. Google. Can't buy them anymore. That's a shame. Okay, well, let's look at the secondhand, see if there's any secondhand around. I found 3 at this online secondhand store. Online, and they actually have stores as well. They sell electronics and games and stuff. And they were $330 each, Australian. I'm just like, what? No, that's so cheap. My plan, and you know, the budget that I have been given, considering how much a new sound system and lighting and new screen and everything costs, I have the smallest budget out of everybody for this renovation, and that's fine. I mean, I actually probably I can get by. We can get by with what we had. We just wanted to add to it a little bit, so I had a small budget. And so I had worked out budgets, and I've just been playing with it, and I was definitely coming in over budget. I'm like, you know, how do I want to... My vision is to create an immersive online stream. You know, we're not just I just don't want that fly-on-the-wall pitch type of camera angles. I want to get into there. I want to almost make you feel like you're there, in the worship, engrossed in the worship. So to do that, you've got to be cinematic. So that's where these cameras come in, because they can be used with pretty much any lens. I can put on lenses that are going to give me shallow depth of field. So $330. I'm like, in the second hand, I'm like, okay, we've got to buy these now. So I go to my pastor, and I'm like, check out this. This is amazing. This is a bargain. I was looking at brand new Panasonic G9s for $1,200 each. Okay, 2 of them, probably a GH5 as well, because we've got Micro Four Thirds everywhere. So why not just keep it there? You know, I'm going to go for $1,200 and do the same thing for $330, it's a no-brainer. And they're like, yeah, that's really good. So I saved myself tons of money there. Brought those, got them. Yes, they have their downsides. The on-screen menu system is a joke. It has a little screen which doesn't tilt or anything, and it's got a terrible viewing angle. You actually pretty much got to be looking directly at the camera to actually make out what's going on. They do have an app. The app is excellent. Doesn't work with my iPhone, but does work with my iPad. I've got a newer iPhone for some reason because they've stopped upgrading the apps or upgrading the software in the cameras. It's kind of stuck, and it will only talk to older iPhones. But I do have an iPad, so I can still do it. And so once you get into the app, you've got full control over everything. You just don't have full control over everything in the actual camera itself. So once I did that, sorted out its little problems. It's still got a couple tweaks to make because I've only used them for 1 week. Love this little camera. Put some one camera's got a 25mm 1.7 lens on it. The other one has a zoom lens. It's a 45-100. It's actually sitting quite far back from the keyboard, so I can zoom it in. But you know what? I'm not one for having big camera chunky things all over the stage. So they're kind of a little bit, because of the size of these cameras, they're very. You don't really notice them. I can almost hide them in some way. Not completely, but they're not as noticeable. They don't stand out. So fantastic little camera, $330, $660. Already had some lenses. Actually, one lens is mine, just on loan at the moment. I've got another lens on order, just a cheap, no electronics manual lens, because these cameras are locked off, man. I just say, man, these cameras are locked off. Plan for the future. Sliders are such a big thing. If we go to, I'm going to go to YouTube again, and I am going to this guy here. There he is, Rylan Russell. What a legend. I'm going to switch my account to one of my other accounts, and this, we're going to go to my subscriptions. And this is Rylan Russell's church. So, yes, I'm going to talk up... not that one. Got too many accounts. Oh, that's lovely. Some stupid recommendations sometimes they make. Here we go. CBCO Wassa. This is Rylan's church. Now, Ryland has been a huge influence on my decision making. I was going down a PTZ route that I definitely would have regretted. I know I would have regretted. Thankfully, I discovered Ryland, discovered what he was doing using Panasonic cameras, a lot of them, Micro Four Thirds lenses. I'm just going to show you what he's doing. Now he has it's funny, we were chatting on Sunday morning before his service. It was Sunday night here, and
Great to have you joining us here.
He talks about, let's see,
anything like that, let us know. Today is watching from Australia, like somebody I talked to this morning, or you're just down the road.
That's me. I messaged him to thank him for his content and everything he's doing to inspire me, and it turned out to be like about 6:30 a.m. or something before his church service. He was at the church already setting up, and he mentioned me. So if you heard that, he basically said Australia, someone in Australia that he was talking to. That was me. I thought it was pretty good. Anyway, let's have a look at his live stream here. So they do a little intro video. Anyway, coming in. So they've got a nice wide shot they start with. I always start with a wide shot.
Well, good morning, Central. It's great to have you here. Why don't you stand with me? Let's wake up and worship.
So he's running 8 cameras. And we will probably be running maybe 6. 5 tripoded ones, and we're going to have a roaming camera. I really wish I could do a pull-out shot. We need another camera operator for that, but that's nice. So they're shooting through people. It's exactly what I want to do. They've got a slide. He's running a slider on a camera at the front, which looks really nice with the screen behind. Don't really have the spot to do that. Their mix is pretty good. Really pretty happy with how this sounds. They have a camera that is on a cable. It's a cheap little camera that it's amazing what he's done. He's done all this on a budget, and I think he does a great job. And that, like I said, it inspires me. So I'm going to show you. So they got a slider. So they got a slider here on the drums. That's the kind of shot we want. And they have a slider on there next to their keyboardist as well. And that camera's out of focus. And you cut away from it. That's probably a good thing. Watch this for a second. But it feels good. It feels cinematic. There's a lot of movement, and that is my main thing that I want to try and add. We've got more cinematic angles and movement as well than these static locked off shots. Now I'm still stuck in the static locked off shots for now. Not going to do the sliders until we do the renovation because our stage will change a bit. We're going to have a deeper stage. We're going to have a black curtain on the back wall. So that kind of stuff can blend in with the like sliders, and all those cameras can blend in with the background because the stage will be darker. As you saw with our stage, we've got this back wall here that's lit up. Everything shows up, cameras, everything. Okay, so that's sort of, well, it's such a great shot. Look at that. That camera looks amazing. It looks fantastic. If anything, that side profile shot was a little bit too yellow. This one's a little bit overexposed. I can fix that pretty quickly. And the keyboard shot is a tad, also tad yellow as well. So that's just a white balance issue that I ran out of time to fix. So you run into problems like this. They're not used to having a camera at the side, so she walked off the front. It's okay in this shot. We also have a wall. If you looked over there on the left hand side, I've moved the camera now. But if we let's go to the sermon and have a look. There it is. That's my brother. He's the pastor. He's a bit flat, but these walls, we have windows on this side, and we do block out a lot of it, but we get a lot of light from these higher walls, so higher windows, and we're not a complete blacked out church. And while we intend to curtain those with soundproofing curtains once we do the renovations, for now they're kind of open, and so I've got to deal with that. So I'm just going to have to move the camera around a little bit to make that work. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to create this another video shortly to post online. Just one of my first things that I figured out in Pro Presenter, and that is, so you can come back to it, but we've got here, we'll go back to the start actually. So we'll go back to the intro. I just learned how to do chapters in YouTube. How awesome is that? We've got here, so we've got a full 16:9 view, but there you go. Now it's complete cinematic here. And in come the lyrics. There they are. And we've got a logo up here in the top right hand corner. So we've got a nice black bar behind the lyrics. It looks good. It's nice. I love this aspect ratio. Feels like we're at the movies. And yeah, I think it looks great. And so as you saw that they rolled in there. And then if we go to announcements, where is announcements? Here we go. Oh, it's already done it. Here we go. Back a little bit. So we've got the words there, and there they go, moving out. So I've set up to do that. Now I'm going to create a video on how I did that, because it's different from if you looked at Renewed Vision, who make Pro Presenter. If you look at their video, they do it differently. Anyway, so that's the vision for my team. I've just added a couple camera guys and this young fellas that are super keen to, they're still in high school, super keen to be a part of it, and super keen to get on these cameras. We're going to have, like I said, a roaming camera and stuff like that. So that's my vision. And I've probably got room for one more camera down the line, but right now I'm not trying to push my luck. I've got my budget that I'm trying to stick to. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to take you along for the ride. I'm going to show you things that I've learned on how I'm running the live streams. Hopefully it gives you some inspiration, or maybe it teaches you something that you didn't know how to do. But for now, I'm just going to sign off on this one. There's my lower third that came in. I'm going to sign off from this, and stay tuned for the next video, which is more like a ProPresenter tutorial video for those of you using ProPresenter 7. Hit that subscribe button for me and the little bell so that you get notified when I post new stuff. Thank you very much, and you guys have a great day.